Good morning, Liv. Good morning, Jess. How are you doing today? Can you hear me okay? I've switched cell phones, and I have a little bit of a concern that this cell phone doesn't have as good of a microphone as my previous one. Hello. You can hear the goats. Well, if you can hear the goats, then we're in good shape. The goats are hungry. They haven't been moved in several days, and right after this stream, I'm gonna go move them. So, but they're pretty faint. You hear very well. Great. Good. I'm pleased. We can begin. So we'll start with some vocal warm-ups. If you'd like to join me, the first thing that I do is I pay attention to my body, how I'm sitting, pay attention to my pelvis, how my spine emerges out from that, my head, my shoulders, my neck. Take a deep breath in, and then we'll exhale with a low tone. Very good. Now we'll do the same thing, but a little bit higher. Sort of stretch our range a little bit. This is the middle of my range, although it's right at the edge of the M1, M2 vibratory distinctions. I don't know how to describe it. So it'll be harder for me to sustain this next note, but it's good practice. Good morning, Robert. Yes, the chicken gives birth every morning. Every morning she lays an egg. We get a lot of eggs here. Yes, I am back, Dora. And so are you. Welcome to this little corner of the internet. I'm very glad that you are here. Good morning, Clairvoyant. I'm glad that you like starting your morning with me. I very much enjoy starting my morning with you. It's such a gift to be able to do this with you all every morning. I want to do that one again. one's better. Yes, I am the girl who recycles the grapes. I've got a dumpster video going right now, actually. I imagine many of you have watched it. Yes, it is the goats yelling salty bish. They're hungry. They need to be moved. Right after this stream, I'm going to go move the goats. And it's going to be very good. Thank you, Elfin Moon. I spent a lot of time practicing that lung control. I've done a lot of work on my voice, and it's gratifying to hear people notice it. So, now that our voice is warmed up a little bit, we can start with our morning prayers. And as always, we will start with the book of Deuteronomy. Thank you, Cat Calibri. Thank you so much. We're going to start with the book of Deuteronomy. The words of Moses. So the book claims. They're not actually the words of Moses. They're the words of a character named Moses. They're also the words of many priests that worked hard for us to know these words. Hebrew. Yes, we're going to speak in Hebrew. Yep. We're going to speak in Hebrew. And the words we're going to say sound like this. Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Listen, Israel. Yahweh Eloheinu Asher Echad. What do these words mean? There's 6 of them. Listen, Israel. Listen, you who struggles with God. Yisrael. El is a God. Yahweh Eloheinu. Yahweh and El are one. Are one. Have I read the Gospel of Thomas? No, I've not. I would like to. Are there no mods in here yet? Cat Calibri's here. I guess Cat Calibri's not a mod. You can be if you'd like to be. What's the sound in the back? Chickens and goats. Good morning, Callie. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Listen, Israel, Yahweh and Eloheinu are one. Are one. Oh, I like that butterfly image. I like it very much. Yahweh and Eloheinu are one. It's a statement of monotheism. Yahweh is the only God. So that is certainly one way of interpreting this prayer, right? Yahweh is the only God. But I don't actually interpret it that way. I interpret it as a claim of syncretism, right? It's actually saying that Yahweh and Eloheinu are one God, right? They're actually the same. It's not that Yahweh is the only one. Yes, it is, but it's also El is the only, they're part of the same fabric, right? They're cut from the same cloth. Yahweh Eloheinu Echad. Do I believe in God? It depends on what you mean by belief and what you mean by God. These words are underdefined, and yet we use them every day. God is a concept that I engage with regularly. How about that? You can be a god? A mod. Abby. So Abby, if you'd like to mod for me, do join my Discord server and we can talk about it there. That's the general pathway. I like to have some amount of relationship with my mods. So join my Discord server and then we can see how that goes. Do I speak Hebrew? No, I don't, but I've memorized some Hebrew texts. My first day of work is tomorrow. I'm teaching a new class in the city. I'm going to be commuting, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have when I'm doing that. But as soon as my schedule stabilizes, I'm going to start scheduling meetings on my Discord server. There's a link to join my server in my description, in my bio. It's right there. It says Discord. You can click it. And that'll bring you to the server, and I'm going to start doing a fair number of community organizing meetings sometime next week, once I get my feet under me. I'm going to be starting a Patreon page very soon. I might actually end up working on that today. And so there'll be some money, and I want to make sure that we use the money well to keep the community strong and to give people what they really want out of this shared space. Thank you for those fireflies. What am I teaching? I'm teaching mycology. I'm a mycology teacher. Did I eat all the cherries? Yes. Those cherries are long gone. Cat Colibri, thank you so much for those roses. You keep forgetting to write in the Discord, but you're here daily and you're happy to mod. Okay, Salty Bish. That's great. Here, let me follow you. I'll follow you right now. Come on. Ay. Yeah, that's not what I want. Follow. Alright, so I've requested to follow you. You have to let me follow you, and then once you've done that, tomorrow I can make you a mod for the stream. Tips for dumpster diving. Try. Good morning, Candy. So nice to see you. Good morning, Katie. Good morning, all. So, where were we? Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. That's where we were. We were at the very beginning. Good morning, Great Blue Ape. Good morning, Claybeard. What do I teach? I teach mycology. I teach about mushrooms. So Moses says, listen, Israel, all is one. Listen, Israel, the serpent eats its tail. My views on Sikhism. I've been to a Sikh temple. I've seen their holy book. I thought it was very beautiful. I think Sikhism is a very interesting syncretistic religion that I do not know much about. I know I see a million names. You just changed your TikTok name from Bats and Bites to match Discord. Great. I appreciate that. It's hard for me to keep track of so many names. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Salty Bish. So Moses says the serpent eats its tail. Moses says all is one. And we're left pondering that, right? That's the religion. The religion is pondering that. Someone said yesterday that they think that the Torah is a story about a people who wish to know God but don't. Fail to do so. Fail to know who God is. And I thought that was quite beautiful. And I would say that's a pretty apt description of the way that I feel most of the time. Seek to know this ineffable thing, but also know that it's not possible to know while we are individuated in this separate body, because what the thing claims is that all is one, right? And so if you feel a separation between yourself and the rest of the world, then you're not actually experiencing reality in its simplest, most root form. Good morning. Good morning. What do you think about atheists? I am an atheist, right? I think about God all the time. That doesn't mean that I believe in supernatural forces. What drew me to the Torah or the Old Testament? Genetics, trauma. My grandmother's a Holocaust survivor, and it marked her body in truly profound ways. And it marked my mother, and it marked me. There's a trauma that is on me that I have no choice but to process. And so I engage with this book, this very old book, because that is the method of processing this particular kind of trauma, and also recreating it. Explain that, please. The serpent eats its tail. Well, so trauma recreates itself by remembering itself, right? It contains itself. The germ of trauma creates more trauma. It's one way of talking about this symbol, right? Another way of talking about this symbol is to think about the relationship between your mind and your body, or between yourself and the rest of the world, right? Like, you are representing the entire world to yourself right now in your mind, right? Like, you see it, you hear it, you say, oh, there's a reality out there. But actually, the reality out there is also in here, and you are also out there. You are part of that reality, right? There's this paradox where the inside is the outside, and the outside is the inside. And the serpent helps us remind ourselves of that. Did I have a good childhood? I had a reasonably good childhood, I think so. Yeah. So, all is one. The serpent eats its tail. That's part one. That's part two. Is anyone else getting the stream glitchy? Can I recommend TikTok accounts? Yes, you should follow my friend Jules Amanita. They're another mycology person, mycology communicator, and they're really lovely. Yours keeps lagging this morning too. Oh no. Serpent and Satan. Yes, the serpent has been affiliated with Satan, but before it was affiliated with Satan, it was affiliated with this goddess, Ashura. And I don't think she's the devil. I think she's pretty great. She's so great. Extremely glitchy live. Stream is really glitchy. Yes, glitched. What do you mean by glitchy? Is there something I could switch phones. Should I switch phones? I could switch to this phone. There's enough battery now. Yeah. It's fine. No glitchy. It's not glitchy. It's not glitchy. It's okay. Some say it's glitchy, some say it's not. Not glitchy. And you can hear me okay? It's not glitchy. Yours keeps reloading. Alright. I think we're gonna leave the live be. Okay. Alright. They need to get better Wi-Fi. Well, I just want to make sure that it's not on my end. Because if it's on my end, there are things I can do. I can switch phones. But I don't think I need to. Alright. So, you want to hear more about my religion? Well, I'm not sure if it's my religion. I guess it is. People ask what we're doing or what religion I am. And I don't actually know what religion I am. So, genetically I'm Jewish. We can continue to engage with this Hebrew text, right? We haven't gone very far at all. 17 minutes in. Just said the Shema. Oh, wow. Well, I like talking to you all. That's really what it is. I like talking to you all very much. So we're 17 minutes in. We've just said the Shema, but there's words that come after the Shema. Here are the words that come after the Shema in the book of Deuteronomy. It goes like this. ואהבת את ענת אלוהיך ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודייך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Good luck on your first day of work. Mine is tomorrow. So what do these words mean? What do these words mean? Glitching, glitching, glitching. Maybe I should switch phones. We'll see. We'll keep going for a little bit longer. I'm not speaking tongues. I'm speaking in Hebrew. Hebrew. Yes, it's glitching. Alright, I'm going to switch live streams to this phone. So I recognize that for some of you it's glitching and some of you it's not. This may not do anything. So I'm gonna switch to this cell phone. I'm gonna take this cell phone down. You'll see that the camera angle will be different. I do have a job, it's this, and now I'm doing tech support for this. So this stream is going to end. Please rejoin it immediately. Rejoin it immediately. It might not even end for any length of time. Let's see. Live, go live, end live, go live. Hello? Hello, hello? Wow, the color is so much worse. You wish this was a more personal experience. You know, I do too. Wow, color. Let me see if I can make the color better. Ugh, no. Filters. That one's better. Okay. Without all these people, so you can actually learn what I'm saying, you should join my Discord server. Join my Discord server. That's a much more personal experience. We can have a conversation on Discord. There's a link to Discord in my bio. We're going to be doing some community organizing stuff on Discord very soon. Wow. Dave Fubar, you gave me so much gifts. Okay. What is my favorite thing about mycology? I made a video about this. I love that mushrooms are genitals. They're forest genitals. I just think that's so fucking cool. That I get to study them, and that they're like this. They're like an Ouroboros. Like they represent death and rebirth. And I just think they're really, really special organisms. And it's it's such a privilege that I get to spend my life thinking about them. Good morning, Paige. Good morning. How are you? Fungi is everywhere. Candy, is the stream any better? Now that we're back and we're on a different phone, is the stream any better? Or is it still glitching? If it's still glitching, then there's actually nothing I can do. But hopefully it's not glitching. It seems better for now. Okay. John the Baptist loves me. That's a unique one. Am I a freegan? Sure. If you want to give me that label, it's an appropriate label. Alright. It was never glitching for you, Robert. Alright, well. Alright. Well, we're back. And we're back at the numbers that we were at, so. No one's mentioned John the Baptist in this stream before. I appreciate it. He's an interesting character. So, the Via Hafta. Before I had to change phones, we recited the Via Hafta. We can do it one more time. It goes like this. Via Hafta et anat Elohecha u'chol levavcha u'vechol nafshecha u'vechol meodeyecha v'chayu ha'devarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'vitecha v'lechtecha ha'vaderech uv'shachbecha uv'kulmeyecha u'kshartam le'ohut al yadeyecha v'chayu letotafot b'neineyecha uchtavtaham ha'mizuzot beitecha u'v'hisharechicha. My last name is Kadish. Maybe we're relatives. I hope that your audio is here so that you can hear me say that. Yes, my last name is Kadish. I say the Kaddish every morning, in part because of that, because my last name is Kadish. Alright. So, what does the Via Hafta mean? Well, we can translate it as V'chaya. No, that's in Hebrew. I get confused sometimes. We can translate it as, you shall love Yahweh Eloheinu with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words that I am charging to you today, teach them to your children and recite them when you stay at home and when you are away and when you lie down and when you get up, and bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead, and inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. When I was reading comments, what was I reciting? So this is the Via Hafta. What am I reciting? It's called the Via Hafta. Were I reading comments while reciting? Yes, I do read the comments while I'm reciting. The stream is good now, Ishtaresh. Okay, very good. I'm glad I switched phones. That's interesting. This phone is good, but it's I might need to. This is my main camera phone. The cameras on this are very good. This is where I shoot TikToks from. But it's cracked. Like I use it pretty hard. So anyway, I'm gonna start a Patreon soon so I can have enough money to buy better equipment. What is the tree behind me? It's the tree of life. It's the tree of life. It's an Ashura pole. Ashura is this Canaanitic goddess who was worshipped in ancient Israel about 3,000 years ago. This is one version of her. I can show you another. I've shown you this before. Ishtaresh, you were asking me about this, right? So this is pottery from Kunlet Arjud in the Sinai Peninsula, and the inscription here says Yahweh and his Ashura, and we can assume this is El behind them. There's the mother and her calf. Right, so this is a very old image, a representation of the divine from 3,000 years ago. And our understanding of God has changed quite a lot in those 3,000 years, but I do still think that there's some insight to be gained from looking to these older, original traditions. Am I a Zionist? Absolutely not. No, I am not. I do not believe in the oppression of the Palestinian people in my name. I don't support it. Your English is very bad, but I see your videos for the first time and you love what I do. Oh, thank you. They had paper and Sharpies 3,000 years ago. No, this was not done on Sharpie. This was done on pottery. This is a sort of like a black and white representation of a much fainter pottery shard so that you can all see it and see the details of it. I'm having some difficulty with my candle. Going very slowly today. Alright, let's pull this up. Alright, that should be sufficient. Now it might get out of control. Alright. Do I make honey cakes for the Queen of Heaven? Sort of. Sort of. I love that, Ishtaresh. I love that you know that. On Shabbat, I cook Shabbat dinner every Friday, and my partner makes snake bread, or boros bread. So it's a sourdough bread that we bake, and it's in the shape of a snake eating its tail, with little eggs inside, right? So it's a representation of Ashura. I don't know what the honey cakes of yore actually looked like or tasted like, but we do bake bread and we dedicate that to the infinite, right? To the serpent eating its tail. So yes, we do. I think the answer is yes. I think that's a fair response. Jorgamundur, yes, exactly. Can you show more of my ancient figures? Sure, why not? There's some that I haven't shown you all in quite some time. Let's get this one, and this one. Okay. So, this is an object, a replica of an object that was found in Cyprus. It was found about 100 years ago, and at first glance, it's a figure, seated figure, right, with little feet and head and butt, right? But of course, when you look at it from this angle, it's very intensely phallic. But when you look at it from this angle, it's more yonic, right? Like this could be a female opening if you're using your imagination, or also this way is claimed to be more yonic. So I remade this object because I think androgyny is fascinating, and the original archaeologist, well, not the original archaeologist, I learned about this artifact from Maria Gimbutas, who wrote this book, The Language of the Goddess, that had a pretty profound influence on the way I understand symbols and the way I understand God. So this is a 6,000-year-old androgynous object. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So we can go even older. This here is 9,000 years old. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, my flame is getting out of control. It's not okay. Not okay. And where did I... Alright. You need to be smaller now. Go down. Alright. That'll probably be fine. This is an artifact that was found in Çatalhöyük, in central Turkey. And it is dated to 8,000 or 9,000 years old. And I just think it's so fascinating. Like, what did it mean? These two women bound at the hip, 2 arms, 4 breasts, 2 heads. I can't know what this object meant to the person who made it. It's impossible for me to know. But I can know what it feels like in my hands, right? I know the way the shape touches my body. The way the shape touches my body must be very similar to the way that the shape touched the original artist's hands 8,000 years ago. So much of the meaning is lost because we don't have any written words from these people. We can't really understand what their culture is like, but we can engage with their art, and it can make us feel things. And maybe those things are a little bit similar to what they felt, too. Obviously, it's the same shape. Yeah. You can tell me everything about it? You're probably 5 years old, but yes. So. My flame is out of control today, but maybe that's just okay. Maybe it's okay to be burning a little hot today. Careful of the flame. The flame will be alright. Or maybe it won't be. And I'll blow it out. Keep on having... Let's fix this. Alright. That's a little bit better. Do I have a job? Yes, this is my job. I'm a live streamer. What's the flame for? The flame is for prayer, right? It's a temple flame. Temple flame. So, gosh, now we've been live for 33 minutes and we're not even past the Via Hafta. You shall love Yahweh Eloheinu with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions that I impart to you today. Impress them on your children, recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Where am I reading from? This is the Via Hafta. This is the prayers that we're doing every morning. Who am I praying to? I'm praying to you. I'm praying with you, right? Trying to connect to the world as best we can with these words. Can someone tell me what this is? Can anyone tell me what this is? What are we doing here? Right, well, so the meaning of that prayer is copy me, right? Like a serpent eating its tail, right? It contains itself. The written text of the prayer, when expressed, says, copy me, copy me. The written text makes the oral text, and the oral text induces the written text, on and on and on in a cycle. And somewhere else in the world right now, almost certainly in Israel, almost certainly in New York City, elsewhere too, there are people that are saying these words. Right now, they're living words. For the last 2,000 years, continuously, some human somewhere has been saying these words, V'chaya. Ki v'chaya Elohecha, el ha'aretz asher nisbai levatecha, le'avram le'izkach u'Yaakov, v'tetlach avrim gedolot v'tavot asher lo vanita, uvatim mili'im kol tuva asher lo mileta, uverot atzuvim asher lo hasatba, ke'arim vizitim asher lo natata, ve'alachta v'shavata. Hishameh lecha pen tishchach et Yahweh asher tishacha, mi'eretz Mitzrayim mi'bet avadim. When Yahweh Eloheinu brings you to the land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to you, great and flourishing cities that you did not build, houses full of all good things that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant, and you eat your fill. Take heed that you do not forget Yahweh, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. And just like that, my flame is out. I'd have to close the window to keep the flame on, but I kind of like the window on, so I'm going to leave the flame off. What is this pattern behind me? This is the tree of life. It is one of many representations of Asherah. Or you could say Asherah, this is actually how I think about it, is that this goddess figurine is one of many representations of this pattern. Right? I find this pattern to be more primal. This pattern is the root. Here's another version of this pattern. This one is a little hard to see. The contrast is not very good. I need to print out another one. But this is the tree of life. This is a phylogenetically accurate tree of life made by modern biologists trying to map the relationships of all of the different branches of living organisms that exist and have existed. Dinosaurs and unicellular eukaryotes. Right? So there's this tree that contains all living beings. It's 3.8 billion years old and shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. And that is actually the way that I align my worship, right? I think about that tree. I think all of these gods, they're just metaphors. The underlying thing is that all life is connected. We all descend from the same root. That was a cool donation. I really like that one. That animation is quite pretty. So, what do these words mean that I just said? When Yahweh Eloheinu brings you into the land that he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to assign to you, great and flourishing cities that you did not build, houses full of all good things that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant, and you eat your fill? Take heed that you do not forget Yahweh, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. The house of bondage. Yes, that would be Yggdrasil in your religion. There are many words for it. Right? So what is the house of bondage? Eretz Mitzrayim Mibet Avadim, the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. Right? Well, we have to remember that these words come out of a story, and the story is about freedom, colonization, for the Israelites, right? The Israelites have left Egypt, they've left slavery, and they're looking for a new home. And Yahweh's reminding them, hey, you know that home that I'm about to give you, you're going to have to take it violently. You're going to steal the land from the people of Jericho. And then Joshua goes down and he tears down the walls of Jericho and he kills every person inside it. And then he occupies the houses full of all good things that he did not fill. And he drinks from cisterns that he did not hew. This is in the book, right? The genocide is in the book. And here, the book is reminding us, hey, when you claim so fervently, when you enjoy so delightfully this land, which is yours, remember that it was taken, and it could just as easily be taken from you. In fact, it will be taken from you over the course of time. Every 500 years or so, some new power occupies the region, and yours will not last forever. Yahweh had a wife called Asherah, too. You think they're divorced and disowned now. Yeah, they had a really bad breakup. Such a bad breakup that Yahweh was like, nah, don't say her name. I don't want to hear about her. I just want to forget that she existed. And in fact, he's got such a forceful will that most people did forget that she existed. Isn't that remarkable? Like, what an incredible feat to forget a god. Huh. My voice is so humbling. What do you mean by that? Elyon was higher than Yahweh. Well, so that's some Gnostic theology right there. What do you mean by Elyon was higher than Yahweh? What myth are you referring to? I don't disagree with you. I've read that myth, but I'm curious because there's many versions of it. Elyon was higher than Yahweh. Thank you for the butterflies. I really like them. What's the difference between Hashem and Yahweh? There's a very big difference. Can you mute the alien invasion? Thank you. Do I study Hermeticism? Yes. So Elyon allowed Yahweh to inherit the nation for himself. Yeah, indeed, 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 indeed. So the name of God changes a lot. Elyon, El, Allah, right? They all have the same root. The name of God has shifted around over time as it needs to shift. Sometimes it's called Jesus, right? Sometimes Baal. And one Hebrew word that is used to refer to God is called Hashem. And the literal translation of Hashem is the name. Hashem, name. And it's a bit paradoxical because when you say Hashem in reference to God, you're almost saying nameless. I can't say his name, right? There was a taboo that was developed around 2,500 years ago after the Babylonian exile. The Babylonian exile represented this sea change moment in Jewish understanding of Yahweh, and in fact they stopped calling him Yahweh because Yahweh was too closely... Am I familiar with the Baal cycle? Yes, I am. Yahweh was too closely affiliated with Baal and with Asherah and with all of these other deities, right? Yahweh was a name. Yahweh was like a character name that was it was tied into a pantheon that the Levitic priests wanted to separate themselves from. They worked very hard to separate themselves from it, and one of the ways that they did that was that they created this taboo: thou shalt not say the word Yahweh. No, you'll replace it with Adonai, the Lord, or Hashem, the name, right? So Hashem is a euphemism, it's a pseudonym. And I use the word Yahweh because I specifically want to hark back to that old version of God, that jealous, violent, patriarchal, abusive God. I think he's worth remembering. I think if we don't remember him, then we'll be cursed to repeat the genocide again and again and again. I don't want to. I'm loving all the interaction this morning. It's so interesting. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Allahu Akbar. You're from the Canary Islands. Well, that's cool. Elyon wasn't like Yahweh. Elyon was more like pure light, perhaps. Less jealous, less violent. You're a Jehovah's Witness, so this really caught your attention. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know that much about Jehovah's Witnesses, but I know that you use the word Yahweh, and I think that's pretty cool. Yahweh was Elyon's belligerent son, and what does that make Jesus, huh? Jesus is a figment of my imagination. I would say so. Absolutely. So, a couple more prayers to Yahweh. Let's think a little bit more about Yahweh's character. Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, shelo ashani isha. I repeat the name of Yahweh Eloheinu, who did not make me a woman. I did. Baruch atah Asherah, Anat Malecha Ha'olam, Asher Yitzaret Ha'adam Bechachama Uvera Ve'o. I repeat the name of Asherah Anat, who made me with many openings and cavities. What are my thoughts on Melchizedek? We're getting some high-level questions up here today. What are my thoughts on Melchizedek? Melchizedek was a god in this region at some point. He was an Israelite god, I suppose, or a Philistine god, or it doesn't really matter. He's a Canaanite god. And the claims are that children were sacrificed to Melchizedek, right? This is a terrible god. And maybe that is propaganda, right? Maybe that was just Israeli monarchic propaganda, because they wanted to tell people to stop sacrificing children. But of course, child sacrifice is in the Torah too. Yahweh commands Abraham to climb up a mountain and sacrifice Isaac. And Abraham's like, okay, I'ma do it. So, yeah, child sacrifice was why were children sacrificed? That is a very interesting question. Do I believe in Allah? Yes. Why were children sacrificed? Why was the firstborn sons of Egypt, why were they all killed in the book of Exodus? Why were children sacrificed? What did it mean for the people doing that act? I don't think we can know. I've tried to understand it, right? What I don't think is I don't think it was pure evil. I don't think it was senseless. I think that the sacrifice of children had a very explicit and strong purpose in our society. I think it had a functional purpose. I think it did things. I think it created the society that we live in today. And I cannot understand the mental states that the people who were doing those things could have had, right? Like, I can answer a similar question, maybe more empathetically. Why did circumcision start? I'm quite convinced that circumcision started as a symptom of gender dysphoria, right? I think there were some highly gender dysphoric priests who decided that they were to circumcise themselves. And I think child sacrifice is something similar, right? Like, we do this terrible thing to ourselves for a reason, and that reason is identity creation, perhaps, connection to a group. It's difficult to say. I cannot answer that question, but I take it seriously. I think people, like, we know, like, it is historically undeniable that children were sacrificed in the ancient world for thousands of years. And if people were doing this for thousands of years, it must have had a purpose. And even if we can't understand what that purpose is today, I think we can respect it in its historical context. Isaac was willing to sacrifice his son, and God told him not to. Yes, that's true. That is the story. Do I believe in Allah? Yes, I'm praying to Allah right now. So, there's a song that I like to sing at this point in the live stream. On a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed is my father? 10. My father's very disappointed. I'm quite public about it. People murder people every day. Do we respect the murder? Oftentimes we do. Like, we still have highly respectful murder in our society. Should we? I don't know. I think probably not. But we glorify murder all the time. Would I share my breakfast routine? Yeah, we're going to eat breakfast in a little bit. Going very slowly through these prayers. Gosh. But you're asking me such interesting questions, talking about Melchizedek. Is it almost breakfast time? I mean, it should be. I've been live for 45 minutes, but we're not even close to the end. Gosh, getting distracted by all you lovely folks. Am I a Christian or a Muslim? I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. Alright. So. Here's a song. Y'all like singing? The meaning of the song, maybe it will come, maybe it will go. What is my prayer routine? Listen. I came upon a wedding that old families had contrived, with Bethlehem the bridegroom and Babylon the bride. Oh, great Babylon was trembling, and she stood there naked with me. And Bethlehem inflamed us both like the shy one at some orgy. And when we fell together, all our flesh was like a veil that we had to draw aside to see the serpent eat its tail. Some women wait for Jesus, and some we wait for Cain. So I'll hang upon this altar, and I'll hoist my axe again, and I'll take the one who finds me back to where it all began, back when Jesus was the honeymoon, and Cain was just a man, and we'll read from pleasant Bibles that are bound in blood and skin, that Asherah is gathering all her children back again. Asherah is gathering all her children back again. This is a reference to child sacrifice. An oblique one, but it's there. Asherah was a cannibal, right? Asherah and Melchizedek are not that separate from one another. She was a force of life and death. And I think that sacrifice in all of its forms in the ancient and modern world, when humans sacrificed, they were doing so because they were trying to put themselves in right alignment with life and death. So, the story about Babylon and Bethlehem coming together as a wedding, genocide as a kind of wedding, a human race was created through this genocide, through this violence, something new came out of it, an identity more robust than any kind of ethnic identity that had ever been before. Right? That's the Ouroboros, the consumption and creation in one. How about we just keep singing? Yes, I think Black Lives Matter. What religion do I believe? Well, we're going to sing a prayer now from the Shivananda tradition. This is a yoga tradition. Kajananam Bhutaganati Sevitam Kapita Jambupala Sarabakshitam Umasutam Sakapina Sakarnam Mahamatim Divyamayuravahanam Ridasyasrinam Sarasainanatam Guham Sadanam Saranam Prapadye Yaku Hendutu Saraharatvala Yasupravasvarita Yavina Varanda Mandidakara Yasvita Padmasana Yabramachuta Sankara Pratrapi Devasata Pujita Samampatu Saraswati Bhagavati Nihesa Jadyapaha Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nisparanchaya Santaya Shishivanandaya Te Namaha Shri Vishnudevanandaya Te Namaha Om Sarva Mangla Manglaye Shive Savarta Sadike Saranyi Triambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Om Do I ever attend any religious services? Yes, this one right here, right now. Yeah, where I learned these prayers at the Shivananda ashram, I learned them through religious service. I wouldn't know these things if I didn't attend religious services. Yes, I did have a bar mitzvah. I was a 13-year-old boy once, and I had a lovely bar mitzvah. It was very good. How do I make money? I make money when people on my live stream send me roses. Thank you. All the tippers. It means a huge amount that you want to support me like this. Thank you so, so much. So, now we're going to recite the Maharityunjaya mantra. Maybe we can light the candle. Maybe the wind has cut down a little bit. We shall see. What are my thoughts on Shabbatai Tzvi? I'm not sure if I know who Shabbatai Tzvi is. I am fairly confident that he believed that he was the Messiah. But his dates are a little bit confused in my mind. Was he 16th century, 18th century? Oh gosh. I think I need to answer this. It's a doctor. Hello?
Hello, this is Delhi Dental Clinic. If you are experiencing
Alright.
fever...
I didn't have to answer that. What are my thoughts on Shabbatai Tzvi? So you need to give me a little bit more information about Shabbatai Tzvi before I can tell you. Okay. Well, believe in what you want. Don't be disrespectful to others' beliefs. Gosh, thank you all so much for the tips. That's really incredible. I'm gonna start a Patreon soon. And then we're gonna use that money to give back to the community. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do programming on Discord. It's gonna be great. So if you want to help me make this community better, you can join my Discord server, and we're gonna have some meetings very soon about how we want to organize ourselves and how we can give people the kind of support that they need through the internet, through this little digital space, if it's possible. Wow. Alright, so the Maharityunjaya mantra. Let's recite it. It goes like this. Jayambakam yajamahe sugandim pushche vardhanam Urvarukami Bhavandanan Mrityur Mukshiyam Amritatom Om Trayambakam Yajamahi Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukami Bhavandanan Mrityur Mukshiyam Amritatom Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashantu Makashid Dukhabhag Bhave Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Mrityur Mamritam Gamaya Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishate Om Shanti 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 Om Peace Peace Peace. That outer world is full. This inner world is also full. From fullness comes fullness, taking full from full. Fullness remains. The serpent eats its tail. It's all the same prayer. I just say the same prayer every day. And even the different prayers that I say, they're all actually the same prayer. They all mean all is one. That's it. Morning prayer and theological talks. Yes, Coven Commune. Yes, indeed. How are you doing today? So, prayer. Prayer, prayer, prayer. What is this? What is this? What are we doing? Like, I actually am just as curious as all of you. Like, I'm so astonished that so many of you want to spend your mornings with me like this. Like, every day I wake up and I'm just so grateful that y'all want to be here. Like, it's just astonishing me. And I wonder sometimes if we actually have alignment. And why am I here? Is it the same thing as why you are here? Can I provide better what it is that you all actually want? Like, what is this relationship that is forming? I wonder. And so when people come in here and say, what am I watching? Yes, Bren, you come in here and say, what are you watching? I'm not sure. It's you're watching a conversation between me and hundreds of other people. And where that conversation goes isn't entirely up to me, you know? But yes, we're praying together. And what that means and the implications of that also aren't entirely up to me. But here's a prayer about prayer. And maybe we can use this time, this little moment, to reflect on what it is that we're doing together. Hi, Teresa. Hi. So, this prayer goes like this. I don't want to pray to my maker, no. I just want to be feeling free. Not just who I am, but the pink in golden land, and that wide, wild sky over me. Help me to the sun, hey, I'm looking everywhere. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray. And it's not much good to talk, better to walk it. Ooh, not much good to take, better to give. We are done, forgiven, and forgotten of our sins. And I promise you, my friends, all that dies will live again. So, pardon, God and Mom. What I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray. I love Allah, Allah made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, made good, and Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah, God made, God made, God made. But I don't want to pray to my maker. I just want to be feeling free, what I see. Not like in a book, or the leaves of trees that shook from a word that means only not a thing. Hashem. Pardon, God and Mom. What I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray. No, no, no. I don't want to pray. We don't want to pray. Pray. I love Allah, Allah made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, made good, and Anat, Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah. God made, God made, God made me. Except that's a lie. You know that, right? None of those gods actually exist. I made me. Or you all are making me right now. We are making each other. We're creating culture, and culture creates us. Like a serpent that eats its tail. Love in the chat is always welcome. Yes. Ishtress, I like that you're just saying prayer over and over again. Like, actually, I really like that. Like, very efficient, very elegant, good moderation. Okay. So, now we're going to wrap up. We're going to have breakfast. Ah! My flame just went out. Dreadful. So this next prayer that we're going to say is called Arati. Alright, well, we need the flame for Arati, so we're going to close the window. Prayer, yes, but meditation and prayer are connected. Yes, maybe we're meditating on what prayer is. We're praying for the ability to meditate. I don't know. Who are we praying to? I'm praying to you. I'm praying to you. Why pray if I don't believe that there's anyone to pray to? What a question. Why pray if you don't believe there's anyone to pray to? Do any of you have an answer to that? I can answer that, but I'm curious what you all think. Like, why pray if you feel convinced that there is no God listening? Right? There's no voice in the sky who cares what words you say. Huh. Why pray? I think it's because the prayer aligns myself with myself. It aligns me with this light here, right? And we know that the world is made of light, right? This isn't some woo thing. General theory of relativity says light and matter are interchangeable, and in fact, all matter was once light. The world comes from light. Once at the root, 13.7 billion years ago, all things were light, and from them emerged the tree of life, and eventually humans and all else. So, why pray? Come on, relativity, yeah. And God is light, yes. All things come from God. So why pray if we don't believe that Yahweh is up in the clouds throwing thunderbolts at us if we're doing right or wrong? Because, for me, prayer is about internal alignment. It's about using my voice and putting my attention and energy into my body so that I can make these sounds, so that I can send these messages to all of you, so that we can be aligned, right? Right now, every single one of us is here in this spot, doing the same thing, focusing on these same ideas, these same words, these same vibrations. That's why. It's for alignment. It's for being alive in the world. That's why. So, we're going to say this prayer to light. The refrain is Arati, Jaya Jaya Arati. And it goes like this. This Arati is in Sanskrit, and it's from the Shivananda Yoga tradition. That's the religion, for those who are wondering. That's the language, for those who are wondering. Sanskrit. And anyone who asks over the next 5 minutes while I am praying, please let them know. It's Sanskrit. And if you'd like to participate in other ways, it's always nice to get likes. TikTok reminds me here. So please send likes. It helps. So, can someone tell you who Yahweh is? Yeah, please do. Jaya Jayarati, Vina Vinayaka, Vina Vinayaka, Shri Ganesha, Jaya Jayaratiya Subramanya, Subramanya Kartikeya, Jaya Jayaratiya Venugopala, Venugopala, Venuola, Papa Vidura Navanita Chora, Jaya Jaya Rati Venkantaramana Venkantaramana Sankataharana Sita Rama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Rati Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Rati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Rati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Rati Dattatreya Dattatreya Trimutriyavatara Jaya Jaya Rati Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Rati Sanistaraya Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Rati Sankarachaya Sankarachaya Advaita Gurave Jaya Jaya Rati Sadgurunata Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jaya Rati Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jaya Rati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shriyama Priyaye Jaya Jaya Rati Ayappa Swamine Ayappa Swamine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jaya Rati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jaya Rati Mohammed Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samastya Gurubho Namah Jaya Jaya Rati Avenugopala. Yes, I said Yahweh made hate, not is hate. And I do believe that Yahweh made hate. I think that the ideology of Yahweh taught a certain kind of hate that we might call xenophobia, or maybe simply racism. Jewish exceptionalism is a form of racism, a form of hate. That I do believe if anyone invented, it was Yahweh. And yes, I do praise Yahweh for his invention of hate, because I could not live in this world if it were not one that had hate in it. Because without hate, there wouldn't be love. Without light, there wouldn't be dark, right? All of the opposites are one. All is one. So I believe the gods are real. I believe they're social constructs. Why do I call God Yahweh, right? Because that's Yahweh's name, right? Yahweh is a particular character that exists in the world, right? It exists in the form of ideas, human ideas. The idea of Yahweh structures the world very much, structures the state of Israel very much. And so I believe in him to the extent that I believe that he's a force in the world that is manifested by human action. Do I think he's a man in the clouds? No. No. He's an idea. He's a social construct, just like gender. Right? Gender is real, even though we invented it. God is a social construct, too. And let's free Palestine. Yes, let's. Alright. Back to praying, shall we? Om Natatrasyo Bhakti Natanjakaratam Dema Vidyo Bhakti Kutoya Magni Tameva Vantamidvanti Sarvantasya Pasya Santanivanti Om Yonge Karamane Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmate Siddhika Veriya Namastitam Namo Namaha. Neither the sun shines there, nor the moon, stars, or lightning. So from where does its light come? When that shines, everything shines after that. By its light, all else is lit. Om. Peace. 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 He brings into existence whatever exists. Tvameva mata chapita tvameva Tvameva bandusha saka tvameva Tvameva vidya javinam tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmanava prakriti sabhavad karumyad yad mangalam parasmahe narayanaiti sarmarpayami Sarvadharmam pravichaya mamikam sarvanam vraja aham sva sarvapapayo mokshayami ma sucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these I dedicate to you. to all of you, thank you all so much for being here with me today. It means so much. Like, I every day I say this, but I cannot actually articulate to you how much this means to me. Like, I have been striving for this for my entire life, to have these kinds of interactions with people like you. And I'm so, so grateful. Morning prayer and theological debate. Yes, Coven Commune, yes indeed. Thank you for answering that question so often. You're an atheist, but you enjoy my prayer. It's calming and relaxing. That's great. I'm an atheist too. And I'm a theist. People ask me to label myself. You notice that I am a little bit reluctant to label myself. People ask me if I'm a boy or a girl, if I'm a Jew, or if I'm a Hindu. I don't, I do these things. They're all actions that I do. They're not things that I am. Always listen to your prayers before bed. It's 12 a.m. here. Wow. I don't need to label myself. Thank you, Cat Calibri. I really like that animation. So we have one more prayer. One more prayer that we're going to do today, and it's a mourner's Kaddish. So the word Kaddish in Hebrew means holy. There's a Semitic root word Kadesh. Here we can see Kadesh here. She's a sexy goddess from the Syrian coast. And so it's an old word. And around the time of the book of Isaiah, when the book of Isaiah was written, Isaiah sees angels at the throne of God, and they're chanting, Kadosh, 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 holy, holy, holy. And from that time, the word Kaddish became associated with mourning. Holiness was a kind of sadness. And for the last 2,500 years, my ancestors have been saying the following words in response to death. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. B'yama divrachiote v'yamlich malchute. B'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayede kol beit Yisrael. Bagala ubizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehe shemei Rabbah v'arach le'alam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'todar v'taleh v'tolah shemei dekudisha b'rechu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechimata. D'yamiran b'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'yochol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mrama. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yochol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mrama. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yochol Yisrael v'imru. V'imru. Amen. This is Hebrew. Do I speak that language? I don't. One day I will learn. One day I'm going to go to rabbinical school. And then I will learn how to speak in Hebrew. So, it's breakfast time now. Is burning the hair off your legs part of the ritual? No. I've watched some of my videos that I talk about my students often. Who are they? What do I teach? I teach mycology. I have a new mycology class starting tomorrow. Well done, mods, indeed. Well done, mods, indeed. Y'all did fantastically today. Thank you all so much. I'm going to turn this phone around. And, so I teach mycology at a local university. First day of the semester is tomorrow. So I'm going to turn this phone around. And we're going to have some breakfast. We're going to have some rice. We're going to have some lettuce. We're going to have some green beans. We're going to have some dried fruit. The fruit that I made, the dried fruit that I made in that video that I posted today, is the fruit that we're going to eat for breakfast today. So that's pretty cool. Hey, look. It's an Ouroboros. Look, I'm inside myself. Wow. How strange. All right.